In a new attack on his stepmother, Queen Camilla, Prince Harry claims that Clarence House staff members prevented anything that would disrupt the status quo. What is he saying? Harry has claimed that the royal family is attempting to make it easier for his stepmother Camilla to take the throne as queen consort. He asserts that the palace and Rupert Murdoch's media empire had a covert arrangement about phone hacking, which was ostensibly employed to the benefit of the soon-to-be crowned queen. The latest assault comes after Harry said Camilla was dangerous in a television interview to promote the publication of his autobiography, Spare. According to Harry, his personal interests were neglected in favor of maintaining his stepmother's good name. Harry claims in the statement that efforts to compel News Group newspapers, NGN, to resolve the conflict with the royal family dragged on for years. He argues that the Clarence House personnel was unhelpful in advancing his allegations, and that they appeared to be impeding the effort. Harry asserts that it was a particular long-term plan that maintained the support of the media, especially NGN. He continued by saying that everything was done to preserve the reputation and ensure that Camilla and his father were welcomed by the British people. Harry said that the secret agreement was the reason for everything, and said that nothing would be done until the lawsuit was resolved. In his 31-page testimony to the High Court, Prince Harry made a number of explosive accusations, of which this is only one. One British expert said, "I find his attacks on Camilla to be extremely disturbing and out of touch with just how many people are in blended families. Diana cheated first, and with married men. I'm not saying Charles was justified, but it was a messy situation, and that marriage was never going to end well." Harry's only angry at the number of people who have warmed to Camilla purely because of himself and Meghan. Camilla's one big crime was being Charles's mistress when he was married to Diana. That's it. Camilla didn't spend her time giving interviews about how evil Diana was. She didn't visibly merch. She didn't shoo her and her children into being given titles. She didn't skim money from her clothing budget. She didn't make herself the focus of attention when supposedly undertaking charity work. Camilla was ripped to shreds. Her appearance was attacked. Her past sins constantly raked over, laughed at, ridiculed. She was once one of the most hated people in the world because everyone loved Diana so much. And what did she do? Nothing. She said nothing. She kept her head down. She quietly created her reading room. She worked behind the scenes with domestic violence charities. She smiled and waved when people didn't want her near. When she was compared to Harry and Meghan, there was no need for any extra PR. The automatic contrast of the whiner who pretended fair criticism was cruel abuse to the woman who despised and said nothing showed Camilla's grace. Now more people know that Diana was at peace with Charles and Camilla being together before she died. More know that Diana and Charles were positive and friendly with each other before her death. Knowing that they forgave each other for the drama and pain and moved on was a huge step too. Harry has nothing but the malicious twist of a tiny fact once again. He looks at all of that, and instead of realizing his own bad behavior and his wife's bad behavior, he's decided that it means I was sacrificed and Camilla was supported. He can't bear facing that he was the one who was rehabbed Camilla's image, all free of charge, because he's spoiled, self-centered, and constantly attention-seeking. To Harry, ordinary people aren't intelligent or capable of making connections on their own. He knows how badly he behaved, and saw his positivity react to the hero Harry PR that he knew wasn't true. So now that we've seen the light, he believes that we've been manipulated away from him instead of towards him. He can't comprehend that we can put the pieces together ourselves and have finally seen beyond the curtain. It's pathetic. It shows how weak, unintelligent, and ignorant he is. Harry is an adult and obviously responsible for his actions. However, I do believe that Meghan does have a lot to answer for. She is a walking disaster. She has left trails of destruction everywhere she goes. It's well documented. You only need to look at her friendship with her family, childhood friends, etc. She uses and abuses people to get ahead. There's no coincidence that shit hit the fan when Meghan waltzed into Harry's life. There's a common denominator, and it's always been Meghan. She brings out the worst in Harry, and the pair of them are bitter and out for blood. I believe she very much had a part in writing Spare, and I believe together they scheme and plan their movements. And if not, she does and feeds it to Harry like a puppeteer. Together they are bad news. It is said that Harry has changed a lot, but what is worse is that the change is going in the wrong direction. He had been terribly popular in Britain, especially after that very meaningful visit to Africa. The question is whether that Harry of the day was who he really is, or was it just a PR strategy to cover up the demon inside of him? An insider said, I think people are still thinking of his past PR, where he claimed how much he loves Africa and felt at home there and wanted to live there and do charitable acts. They don't fully realize that wasn't the real Harry speaking. That was imaginary PR Harry. The trips to do African charity work were arranged to clean up his image. He was just parroting what he'd been told to say by his handler. His only real reasons for wanting to go to Africa were 1. He was treated like a big shot. 2. Liked shooting the local wildlife. 3. Was far away from home and thought he would be able to get away with more. Really, he doesn't like Africa. He likes the idea in his head that he'd be treated like a king there, lives in luxury vacation accommodations, and could do whatever he wants and it would be fine. His idea of Africa is not reality. Just like the people who think his moving to Africa would fix everything and make him the happy-go-lucky scamp again isn't reality. He'd be the same creep, just in an economically impoverished area where people may feel they have to tolerate his abuse and horrible behavior to keep their jobs to support their families. I want Africa to stop being a place where Harry needs to go. From his own mouth, Harry said that he was racist before he met Meghan. Stop and let that sink in. The whole time he was in African countries, allegedly helping African needy people, he was racist. So why on earth should any African country be saddled with him now, send him to Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, Scotland, France, or Ukraine? Please stop trying to send racist men to Africa. African countries have their own problems. They don't need racist British people who are clearly out of their minds and delusional to deal with. The royals bred him, birthed him, and raised him. Send him to one of their many castles and palaces for rest and relaxation. Maybe next time, starting with George, the Brits should make sure that the person the heir or heir apparent marries is of sound mind and body. Charles bred with Diana and it produced an idiot like Harry? Whatever mental illness Diana had got passed on to Harry. No telling if the mental illness Harry has and the personality disorder Meghan got were passed on to either Archie or Lily. What do you think of Harry's direct attack on his stepmother Camilla? Let us know your thoughts below in the comment section. We hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this newsletter. See you in the next videos. Goodbye.